interested in the stout person of Elihu B. Washburn, who was suddenly attracted to a plainly criminal threesome. To the left, a small, sharp-eyed man with one hand plunged deep in his overcoat pocket where the outline of a derringer was visible. To the right, a large, thick-set young man with both hands in his pockets, 2 pistols. In the center, a tall, thin man, wearing a soft slouch hat pulled over his eyes like a burglar, and a short overcoat whose collar was turned up so that nothing was visible between cap and collar but a prominent nose and high cheekbones covered with yellow skin, taut as a drum. In his left hand he clutched a leather gripsack, containing, no doubt, the tools of his sinister trade. As the 3 men came abreast of Washburn, the congressman said, "Well, you can't fool me, Abe." The small man turned fiercely on Washburn, hand half out of his overcoat pocket, revealing the derringer's barrel. But the tall man said, "It's all right, Mr. Pinkerton. This is Congressman Washburn. He's our welcoming committee." Warmly, Washburn shook the hand of his old friend, the President-elect of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, a fellow politician from Illinois who was supposed to be murdered later on in the day at Baltimore. "This is Ward Hill Lamon." Lincoln indicated the thick-set man, who withdrew his right hand from his pocket to shake the hand of Washburn, who stared dumbly at Lamon's hand, ablaze with what looked to be barbarous jewelry. Lincoln laughed. "Hill, when you're in the big city, you take your brass knuckles off." "It's in this city that I better keep them on." And Washburn noticed that Lamon, who spoke with a Southern accent, did exactly that. Meanwhile, Pinkerton had moved on ahead, studying the passers-by with such suspicion that he himself began to attract attention. Lincoln said what Washburn was thinking. "Mr. Pinkerton is what they call a detective, and detectives always make quite a fuss, trying not to be noticed." To Washburn's relief, no one recognized Lincoln, but then he himself had been in a moment's doubt when Lincoln had pushed down his collar to reveal a short, glossy black beard that entirely changed the shape and expression of his face. "Is it false?" Washburn stared hard. They were now standing beneath a huge poster of "Abraham Lincoln, the President-elect, welcome to Washington City." The clean-shaven face of the poster was hard, even harsh-looking, while the bearded face looked weary but amiable. To Washburn, the President-elect resembled a prosperous downstate Illinois farmer come to market. "No, it's real. What you might call an adornment. I had to do something useful on the train from Springfield." Lincoln leapt to one side as 2 huge black women carrying a tub of pork sausage meat hurried toward the cars. Then Pinkerton motioned that they were to follow him outside. As they moved toward the door of the depot, Washburn said, "I've hired a carriage. Governor Seward was supposed to meet us here, but he must have overslept. We've put you up at Willard's Hotel. General Scott thinks you'll be safer there than in that house we found for you." Lincoln did not answer. Washburn wondered if he was listening. Outside the depot, the shrunken wintry sun resembled a small, pale yellow seal affixed to the parchment-gray sky to the left of where the Capitol's dome should be, but was not. Instead, from the round marble base reminiscent of one of Gautier's white wedding cakes, a large crane was silhouetted against the sky like a gallows. "They took the old lid off, I see." Lincoln ignored Pinkerton's efforts to get him into the waiting barouche. "God knows when they'll get the new one on," said Washburn. "There's talk in Congress that we should just leave it the way it is." "No." Lincoln shivered suddenly. "I always forget," he said, "how cold the South gets in winter." The 4 men climbed into the carriage. Pinkerton sat next to the driver. Lamon sat with his back to the driver's seat, while Lincoln and Washburn shared the back seat. Washburn noticed that Lincoln never let go of the gripsack. Even while seated, he clutched